There are elk everywhere.
That car stopped in front of me so fast, I almost ran into the back of him, and now I know why he was stopped. Did you see the size of that elk?
It's a whole different set of issues up here. It was gonna cost us a lot of money.
Angela's like the little kid that loses gloves and stuff along trails. So we're still like 30 minutes out from the Estes Park area, and it's beautiful. Just driving through here is worth it.
When 4 people tell you to come someplace when you're close, you should probably come. So thank you to our viewers and friends that gave us a suggestion. I believe that if we just drove here and turned around and came back, we'd be pretty happy with our day.
Yeah.
The drive is stunning. There are elk everywhere, everywhere.
Can you imagine this being your yard with all those elk in it?
That'd be awesome.
That's pretty awesome. So as you're coming into Estes Park on Highway 34, there's a road called Elk Trail Court, and that's where they all seem to be hanging out at today. That is a big boy.
Everyone's trees have these tall fences around them, and even some of the yards are fenced off with these really high. You may have a really pretty wooden fence, but behind it is a really tall metal fence. It's a whole different set of issues up here.
We are in Estes Park, Colorado today, which isn't a park. It's a little town that was recommended to us by a couple of people. So we're gonna start our journey off today by taking a little breakfast break.
We are slow learners. We did not learn on 2 different occasions that we were probably dealing with elevation sickness. The first time was Beartooth Drive in Montana.
Which is awesome if you haven't been there.
Oh, it was incredible. But we probably hit 10 to 11,000 feet in elevation, and we didn't stop much, and we couldn't figure out why. We were like, man, our stomachs are kind of yucky.
Kind of feels like your head's plugging up, and maybe you're gonna get a little bit sick, or
you're swimming, you're a little dizzy.
Yeah.
We really got a feel of it on our last trip to Colorado.
When we came up out of New Mexico, south to north.
We knew about elevation sickness, and we kept thinking, well, if we go up in the mountains, let's do X, Y, Z. But we weren't thinking we had already climbed a lot of elevation. We felt like we were getting sick all week. We were dizzy, lightheaded. We thought, oh, we're gonna pass out. Our stomachs were gross. And towards the end of the week, it clicked.
Yeah, and we did a little research and we learned about it.
So we're gonna do it different today. We're gonna stop, we're gonna take a break, we're gonna eat, and then we're gonna take our time climbing through the elevation.
Yep, we're gonna check out Estes Park a little bit, then we're gonna check out Rocky Mountain National Park. More on that later. Let's eat.
Let's eat.
That was an excellent breakfast there at the Egg of Estes. I had that breakfast burrito. But if you guys have been around a while, like think back to last winter when we were in Oklahoma, or this winter when we were in Big Bend National Park, Angela's like the little kid that loses gloves and stuff along trails. So we
just gonna trek back a little bit for it.
So in the past month, Angela's lost a glove on our little home base back home, and then today on the trail, not a tenth of a mile away from the car, mind you, oh, I've lost a glove. And if you travel and you go out into these state and national parks, you know, you've seen it. There's always a random glove or a random hat or a random sandal, you know, all little kids sizes because they drop stuff a lot in the trail. That was her.
Oh, I found another battery in my pocket. It needs to be charged.
She can find a battery, but not gloves. We literally had to have Kevin and Alicia from Paving New Paths mail us gloves from Big Bend that Angela left behind. And today we come out of the egg of Estes, and there's one of her gloves sticking in the door handle of the truck because somebody had ran over. These aren't like dollar store gloves. These are North Face gloves. Somebody had ran over her North Face gloves, or one of them. And luckily they were nice enough to notice it and just stick it in the door where we wouldn't lose it. But, you know.
My track record is not good.
And then somebody forgot to charge her Ororo jacket. But luckily they sent us a car charger. So we're going to try that out today. It's not like we travel 24/7 or anything. So let's go check out Estes Park, see what else we can lose. Quick pro tip for traveling with little kids or Angela, feed them before you walk by the candy store.
Duck walk on the ice.
When we're going somewhere with the RV on, I always rely on our Garmin 780 RV GPS because it takes care of things like low bridges and, you know, short, narrow, and dirt roads and things that we really don't want to tow our trailer down. But when we're running around empty, I like to use Google Maps, and one of the main reasons I like to do that is because you can download the offline map. So I got all of our offline maps downloaded earlier at the restaurant because I know we're going to lose service as soon as we cross into Rocky Mountain National Park. And we have been in some situations before where we've not got lost, but we've had a really hard time finding our way out because we didn't download our maps ahead of time. This is what I was talking about earlier. This isn't Angela's glove, but this is what Angela does.
That's a nice glove. I should probably get it and keep it for a spare.
We just finished up Rocky Mountain National Park. I wish we could have showed it to you guys, but it was absolutely incredible. The ranger at the visitor center was actually telling us that this is a great time to visit as far as fall and winter goes because the roads usually aren't too bad. You get some snow and the wildlife's still a little bit active.
Not that we saw any, but that's kind of how it works for us in national parks. We usually see more wildlife outside of the parks than inside, but maybe you have better luck.
That car stopped in front of me so fast, I almost ran into the back of him, and now I know why he was stopped. Did you see the size of that elk?
He was massive. He wasn't scared of us.
I thought he was fake for a second because he wasn't moving, and I could totally see somebody setting one of those by their mailbox. No, then all of a sudden he just kind of turns his head and like, he's real.
The reason we couldn't bring you into the national park is because it was going to cost us a lot of money. We fall into this bucket of commercial filming if we film or take photos within a national park. This is something that a lot of creators are familiar with. This is somewhat new of a rule, but you do have to have permitting. It's very specific and very expensive. I must clarify, we didn't talk to Rocky Mountain National Park, but this applies to all of the national parks. They're all just going to vary, and you have to do your permitting separately.
And the rules vary from park to park. But suffice to say, for what we checked into, it was going to cost us just short of $300 to apply for a permit. Whether or not it gets approved or not, $300. Then, if it's a place where they deem that a park ranger needs to accompany you out for a shot, they told us to budget $50 an hour for a park ranger to accompany us. And then, kind of sort of the big one, is they wanted us to have commercial insurance with $1 million worth of liability, which just from me looking around online quick was going to cost us $600 to $900 for a year. We easily would have spent $500 for the luxury of being able to film inside the national park. We missed you guys. We love showing you this stuff. We just couldn't do it on this one.
And all of that is assuming you do it in advance, 30 days or more, and you have to tell them how many people are with you, because the more people, the more money, the more locations, assuming it's approved that you can even film there, the more money. And you have to tell them which day or days that you're going to be in those certain areas filming. So weather, you better know 30 days in advance that you're committed to go.
So while it stinks we couldn't take you guys along with us, we had an absolute blast in there. It's just beautiful. There are some road closures because they did probably get a foot of snow here earlier this week. So there are some icy spots, some treacherous spots, some places where I went ahead and put it in four-wheel drive because it might be uphill on kind of a switchback turn. So I threw it in four-wheel drive to be safe. We got through everything just fine, and it was definitely worth the trip and the extra effort.
Our America the Beautiful pass did get us in with no additional fees, which is not always the case.
Because it was $30 a day if you didn't have America the Beautiful, right? Yeah.
And there's some places that it doesn't apply to, but that's a story all on its own. Either way, thank you guys for always supporting and coming along with us, and we're gonna see what else we can find in the area that's not a national park.
Absolutely. Indubitably. I wanted to share a little tip with you. If you're like me and you pick up stickers everywhere you go, I really like the idea of putting them on this door, but it's textured on our rig, so nothing really wants to stick. So you'll see some of my older stuff has like Scotch tape on here and it looks really bad. I had this harebrained idea back in Arkansas to use a heat gun to try to heat the back of it up and get everything to bond a little better. And what I figured out is if you just barely heat this surface before you put the sticker on, then put the sticker on and give it just a little bit more heat as you smooth it out, it starts to fill in to all the little dimples and the texture in this door. It makes it stick a lot better. Maybe try a heat gun or a blow dryer, but it's a really good way to make these things stick.
We ran down the road to a butcher shop. We're in Colorado. We thought we're gonna see if they have some elk meat or bison meat or some unique meat that's not as easy for us to get anywhere else. And we're gonna go see if we can stock the freezer.
Worst case, we'll just grab a couple ribeyes.
I'm okay with that.
So they didn't have any exotic meat. They did have a buffalo strung up out front that had been completely skinned out, but it turns out they're just a processing center. I guess they have to have a special license to sell exotic meat. So maybe we'll have better luck down the road. But we did get a couple of these nice ribeyes, a couple of nice T-bones. They were not cheap.
We're on our way to go check out this natural amphitheater. The Red Rocks Amphitheater opened in 1941. It seats up to 9,525 people, sits at an elevation of 6,450 feet high. Then there's 100 feet of elevation just from the stage to the top of the plaza, which consists of 193 steps. If you stretched all those seats out in a line, it would be 2.5 miles long. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, in the middle of the day, they're really not even open. There's no show till later on the night, and there's a ton of people here. The local lacrosse team's out exercising out here, running bleachers, lots of people hiking and walking, and this is a really, really cool place. I really like live music anyway. There were a few acts this week. The tickets were kind of pricey for bands that we weren't really all that interested in, but it would be awesome to see a show here. It is free to come tour during the daytime. They do start shutting parking lots off and stuff in the afternoon to get ready for events that they have when they have them, but there's tons of parking. We were able to park really close, check it out. And now we're gonna head back and I'm gonna cook some steaks.
We didn't get those steaks cooked last night.
But they're cooking today.
They're cooking now. We've been busy little bees this morning. We got up early. We got a lot of stuff done. Look at us being profitable on a weekend. Oh, look.
Time to flip the steaks.
So we're going to enjoy some steaks, and then I think we're gonna try to get a bike ride in before travel day tomorrow. My vacuum filter is dirty again. We found, as expensive as these little replacement filters are, that by blowing them out for several times before they wear out, instead of buying a new one, has saved us hundreds of dollars. A lot better. Thank you. Good as new. Charlie's one and only trick. Teapot. Alright, we're gonna sing. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my booty, here is my snout. When I get all riled up, hear me shout. Flip, flip me over and rub my belly. Good job, Chucky, good job. Okay, I'll go get a treat.